Record. Okay, so I've asked a couple of the coaches on a team that pretty consistently hit Success Club and have been for a while. And actually, I shouldn't say for a while, because one of our coaches, Denelle, is a fairly new coach on the team. She is entered into her 4th month of coaching, but she is one of the coaches that became a Success starter. And I know that, Kirsten, you are also a Success starter, which means if you hit Success Club 5 or plus your first 3 months in your business, then you earn a free ticket to Summit. So Kirsten earned hers this previous Summit that we went to, and Denelle's earned hers to New Orleans. Mm-hmm. So I asked them to speak, just to kind of give us what their tips are to hitting Success Club each month. What they may be doing that could be something you guys could be doing too, or maybe something different, or maybe you guys are doing something similar. Or you may hear them all kind of say the exact same thing, and if so, that should be a red flag that, hey, what they're doing must work. So I have 4 coaches that are going to be speaking, Kirsten Johnson, and then Kristen Gagnon, Kelly Branson, and then Denelle Whitlatch. Okay, so Kirsten, do you want to go first?
Sure. I will go ahead and start. Okay, I'll apologize in advance because my throat's kind of scratchy and I get super nervous when I talk. I don't know why. So if I say a lot, sorry. Okay, so I made a list of things that I do at the beginning of the month. Well, actually, I'll start with number 1. I set business hours. I think this is so important to set your business hours and stick to your business hours or hour or whatever that you're going to work. And during this hour, I always do my vital behaviors. So that means I'm going to add my friends, start the conversations, invite new people. I might invite them to a free group or to a challenge group. But I make sure that I do that during my business hours. I'm not like scrolling on Facebook. I'm not playing a game. I'm making sure that I'm focusing that time just on my business. And I also started Team Z, which I know Danielle's talked about and Kelly's used. But I really, really like Team Z. If you haven't tried it, I would recommend it. And I also got my got extended till the end of the year, so I'm super pumped about that. But basically you have to like add in your contacts and your customers from your Beachbody, but it tells you who to talk to every day. So that makes it like the guesswork. It takes the guesswork out of it. You just talk to the people. You can put in your conversation. So literally I can get my power hour done in like 15 or 20 minutes. Obviously, I go back and I have to follow up on the conversations, but there's no guesswork. I get it done. But at the beginning of the month, now I'll start with this. I always set goals. I have a goal every month to hit Success Club 10, which means that I know that I'm going to have to help 5 people. So every single month I have a goal, and sometimes I have to work until the very end of the month. Like there have been times that it's like the 30th of the month and I am at Success Club 2. And sometimes I hit Success Club 10 because I push all the way up until the end of the month. I don't give up. Even like now I've already hit Success Club 10, but now I've changed my goals and I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to try to hit Success Club 20. So I'm not going to stop. You have to set goals and just try to crush them. And then be a product of the product. People don't know what you're doing if you're not sharing what you're doing. And then post daily. I make sure that I post daily, but I don't post like all Beachbody stuff. So, but make sure that you're sharing. You don't want to be a coach who's like here and then gone and then back. And so stay consistent and do your vital behaviors. And that's basically all I have because I mean, we've had great training with Danielle, so I feel like just the vital behavior, and that's basically what I do. So that's all I have.
Perfect. Okay. Kristen, do you want to go ahead and share what you usually do each month to hit your goals?
Sure. All right. So my biggest thing is just being a product of the product, like Kirsten just said, making sure that you're getting your workouts in every single day, drinking Shakeology and posting about it, how it's making you feel rather than just like Danielle always says, hey, I did my workout today. You want to include how your workout made you feel or how you felt before versus how you felt after, and how a certain program is making you feel, or what you like about the program or what you dislike about the program. You want to share everything so people can see that you're really going through it and you're experiencing all those emotions and different feelings in your body that you should be experiencing when you change your lifestyle. So like I said, posting about your workouts, what you're eating, how you feel since changing your lifestyle, and not just constantly posting like, hey, I did my workout. And then when you start a conversation with somebody new, they're more likely to see all of those posts. So even if it's just a, hey, how are you? Or, hey, I saw this picture of your kids today. They're adorable. How old are they now? You know, something like that, just starting a conversation is going to cause your posts to show up in their newsfeed, which is a really cool thing that Facebook does. They recognize that you are friends with that person, that you're having a conversation with that person. And so then it's saying, okay, I'm going to start showing them your posts. And so I try to start as many conversations as possible, even if they don't lead to Beachbody or fitness at all. They're still seeing your fitness and health posts and wondering what you're doing and following you. And don't ever be afraid to post about your downfalls. If you had a bad day or if you just really didn't want to work out that day, post about it, but turn it into something positive. Sometimes I'll come home from work and I will absolutely not want to do my workout, and I'll push myself to do it anyway, and I'll post about it. And I'll post about how I had a horrible day, but how my workout made me feel better, or it gave me the energy to actually clean up the house after work, even though I had no energy when I walked through the door. So posting about the good things and the bad things is really important, because if you're constantly like, oh, I worked out today, I felt so good about it, I wanted to work out, people are like, well, I don't feel that way. I don't ever want to work out. So I can never be like her. I could never be as consistent as her because I don't want to work out. So always posting the good and the bad. And posting more about your clean eating and your portion control rather than your Shakeology. I actually had somebody message me last week saying, I think it's so great that you're doing things the right way and not just drinking shakes to lose weight. And that's because I don't post about my shakes a lot. Maybe like twice a month I post something related to Shakeology. But that's because to me, it made a huge difference in my life, and I've shared that. But I don't feel like that's the main thing that's helping me stay consistent with my weight loss. I feel like the clean eating is number one biggest thing helping me out. And so that's what I share about more often. And like, there's so many shakes out there right now that people are drinking just to lose weight. And that's not really what I'm about. I'm not about weight loss. It's more about feeling healthy and having more energy. And so I'll leave on this note that on the months when I invite more, I get higher Success Club points. It's as simple as that. On the months when I post more, I have more people asking me questions or asking me for tips and tricks or about meal prep, things like that. And on the months when I do more personal development, those are the months when I'm more confident in my inviting and in my posting and in my conversations. And it's so obvious to me the months when, like, I can look back and say, oh my gosh, that was the month that I was reading this book, or because those are the higher points. Those are the months that you hit Success Club 10, Success Club 20, because you're so consistent. And so that's really my biggest thing, is just being a product of the product, but also being consistent about sharing your journey with everybody. And then having a plan, like Kirsten said, setting goals for yourself at the beginning of the month, making sure you know when you're going to do your call outs and when your next group is going to be, so that you can always share that, even if it's just like a little tidbit in your, I just did my workout, this is how I feel. Oh, by the way, my next group is going to be on this day, just so that you can constantly be bringing that up, so it's always in people's minds. But I think that's all that I had.
Great. Thank you. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and have Denelle speak. And again, Denelle is still a fairly new coach on the team. She typically hits, I think you're at Success Club 12 right now. She hit Success Club 10 last month. I can't remember month 1 and 2, but I know they were definitely over 5+. So I think it'd be really nice to hear from her since she's a newer coach. I know a lot of the coaches on here are newer too. So you got the floor.
Okay. Well, as Danielle said, I am a new coach with Beachbody. I started back in July. And I guess my biggest thing, I think when you're starting out with this business and being new with it, I would say my first tip is just knowing that everybody's life is busy and knowing that you have a lot to put on your plate. I'm a full-time pediatric speech therapist. I'm a mommy. I'm a wife. And the biggest thing is I just kind of went in full force. You make this happen due to just being able to, taking all those trainings that Danielle has and taking every bit from all these other diamond coaches that are great resources that she has on the team and just taking all their insight. I would say that I'm not very outspoken and I'm pretty shy myself, even though I am a speech therapist and I talk all the time. But I think if you have a passion for the product, I think that makes all the difference. And just because you believe in everything that you're doing. So a big thing for me when I first started, I guess with Beachbody, was really explaining my why and really getting people on board as to why I was doing Beachbody. And kind of really just showing my transformations. I had a pretty quick transformation in the beginning, just because when you have these, clean eating, the shakes, the everything, the support, the accountability of these great challenge groups, you pretty much can make it happen. So with the inviting and the planting seeds, I think that's been the biggest consistency for like the success that I've had with the actual Success Club points. But to me, it's all about like connecting with the people and making them know that this is a lifestyle that's attainable, because it truly is. And so I think a lot of my posts really focus in on it's a lifestyle change. This isn't a quick fix. This isn't something, and we all know that. But I think I'm kind of taking it in a different perspective because I don't have a year's worth of growth in this business or anything like that just yet. So another big point I would have is just being consistent with your posts, and also you're human. So don't just post only about Beachbody. You have to be posting about your family and other things, and people realize that it's not just Beachbody. And be real and be yourself. I pursue a career, Monday through Friday with a 50-hour week. I do a lot of things in the evening with just my normal career, but I'm making this work. Like I do a lot of hours with my own challenge groups. And I've kind of, from the beginning, I chose to do my challenge groups on my own. I did one with Danielle as a participant. And then I knew once kind of building my team, I wanted to go on my own so that they established a relationship with me and my trust. So my first challenge group, I started out with 4 challengers and I was fine with that. It was just the beginning. And then now my third challenge, I'm up to 21 challengers. So it quickly can grow for you, I think, with the more trust you have with those people. So I think, a big thing that the other girls had touched upon is that Success Club piece. Obviously, when I started, I just wanted to hit Success Club 5. But then if you hit that, you have to have that next goal in mind for that month. If it's Success Club 10, obviously and beyond. So, and obviously being a product of the product. If I'm not choosing to do my shakes every day and I'm not choosing to do my workouts, I'm not truly representing Beachbody to the best that I can. So that is a huge point for me. I think the biggest thing is just trying to teach people what clean eating is and what the whole portion container piece is. So I think using a lot of the videos and showing them your containers and showing them how this actually is a ton of food. And I think I get that from a lot of my challengers is how am I going to get all this stuff in? And I think you just have to show them and illustrate it, because just kind of writing a post doesn't give them enough to want to engage with you in a conversation. So I think, things also that I'm pretty consistent with just in my normal business is getting organized. I'm very consistent with writing things down. My planner is probably chock full with a ton of things I need to do daily, but you mark your calendars out. I love it when Danielle kind of has her agenda for the month and I kind of follow that as to how I'm going to do my call outs, when I'm going to do those coaching pieces. And I've really done really well with even the free crockpot groups. I think that's really gotten a lot of people interested and kind of gotten those conversations going for me. And I think the biggest other part would be just sharing your journey as much as you can, and just kind of engaging with those people and making them know that, how you feel about this product and how it's changing you. And just really, like Danielle a lot of times says, is just build that curiosity is the biggest piece. And I think as me as I guess, the newest coach that's talking here, I think, you keep evaluating yourself. What can you change? What can you do different? I know there's things that I need to do different. I need to be inviting more. I've kind of let it be people that were interested in my posts so far. So I know I need to invite more. I need to do more personal development. I really haven't started that avenue just yet because I'm trying to just kind of keep my feet wet and kind of dive in, into those other sectors too. And I think, obviously checking out TeamZ is another thing that I need to do personally. So I think, you have to keep evaluating and keep changing and keep wanting to mold yourself to better, just so that your business can continue to grow. So that's kind of me in a nutshell. I know I'm new at this, but I hope that was helpful. So.
Perfect. I loved it. And I really love the end because Kristen and I often talk about how this is a business where you constantly have to readjust. Things that may have worked for you at one point may not work for you later, or, maybe you want to try and do something a little bit different and kind of dabble into a different area. So it definitely is a business that we're in that is constantly about readjusting, reevaluating, improving. And so many people are wanting perfection and they won't put anything out there. And it's like, just put it out there. You can make it better later. And that's, your goal with anything in life is just to try, and then you reevaluate and you make it better down the road. I love Facebook on this day because it shows me my posts that I did when I first started coaching. And I'm like, oh gosh, this is so cheesy. But I put it out there and people watched and people followed me and I grew a following from that. It wasn't perfection. It wasn't great. I didn't know how to use any of these apps. I didn't have them. I was very basic. I didn't have a transformation. I was just putting it out there and growing trust. So I'm glad that you said that because it's a really good point. All right, Miss Kelly Branson, you are our last coach, if you don't mind. You got the floor.
All right, so I'm going to try not to repeat too much because everyone already said some really awesome tips I think are great, but I kind of went through some notes today about what I wanted to share, and I think two things that probably have helped me the most are just being a planner, being able to kind of know what time of the month it is as far as, is this time where I want to try to get more challengers or do I want to start talking about coaching? Toward the end of the month, like when it's almost the new month, I start sprinkling, some dropping hints about my next group, or I might even do a call out before it's time for a new group just to kind of start getting some conversations going. Because sometimes when you do a call out, it's not like immediate that someone's ready to sign up, and you want to try to get them on board before you start your prep week if possible. That's one thing though that I've gotten better with is just having people join whenever they're ready. But having a plan, I use my planner, like Danielle was just saying, I write down like my posts for each day, just have like little abbreviations that I use because I have certain things that I do on certain days and I'll just check them off if I'm planning ahead. But knowing, like what time of day I'm going to be able to get some work done. Sometimes I can't always, I'm not as good as Kirsten with like having set business hours. I kind of just do it when I can. But that's part of just being a busy working mom with 3 kids. But I think the number one thing that's helped me with my business is being consistent, because it's kind of like your fitness journey. When I first started my fitness journey, I was consistent and I got results. And I think that's kind of how you have to be with the coaching business is you have to be consistent. You can't stop. And you can't make excuses. And that's kind of where I started with my fitness journey is when I scroll back and look at the very first messages that Danielle and I sent with each other, I had every excuse to not join her group. Every one you could possibly think of, everything. I even said I couldn't use on demand because I didn't know how to use the cable box. There's nothing, like it was ridiculous. So I think because I personally had every excuse, it's really easy for me to connect with almost everyone. And like, I'm not rude or argue with them, but whatever they tell me, I show them how they're wrong in a nice way. And I don't let them I don't let them say no to themselves, because if they've messaged me and they engaged with me about questions and joining a group, they need help, or they want help, or they need to change something in their life. And I feel like it's my job to not let them give up on themselves, because a lot of people they need someone to believe in them because they don't believe in themselves. So I think, like the girls were saying earlier, you have to make connections with people. You can't sell to them. You know, I know you guys have gotten personal messages from people like, hey, Roden and Fields having a sale. Like, no, I don't want to buy anything. If I wanted to buy something, I would have asked you. You want people to feel connected to you, like you've gotten to know them, and that they trust you. And they're also going to trust you when you are consistently posting every day. You can't make excuses. So like I said, with the excuses and joining the group to begin with, you kind of have to be that way with your business. What kind of coach do you want to be? And I've been very open with my team, and I've kind of given them 4 options. Like, what kind of coach are you going to be? Are you going to be just a strictly discount coach? Don't even want to be on my team page. You know, do you want to be a discount coach that's on the team page just kind of watching? Do you want to be a hobby coach where if you get Success Club points, great, because you would like to help a few friends and family members, but this is not a business for you. You don't want me like pushing you and bothering you about Success Club. Or do you want to be a business builder? And if you're going to be a business builder, then I'm going to offer every help I can possibly, everything I can give you to help you push your business. And, you know, I think people need to decide what kind of coach they are and commit to that, because you can't say you want to be a business builder and act like a hobby coach, because you're not going to get Success Club points. You're going to feel bad about yourself. And it's just going to be this crappy cycle. Just like if you were doing your fitness plan and you weren't sticking to your containers, or you weren't doing your workouts, you can't go 21 days and do 2 workouts and be like, why didn't I get results? So you have to do your dailies, like the girls already said. You have to be making new friends, starting new conversations, inviting. And then my thing with follow-ups is I have 2 different kinds of follow-ups. I do follow-ups with people where I know the conversations are getting close to an invite, so I keep track of those. But then I also have follow-ups with old customers, because I really feel like if you're wanting your business to grow, you want to maintain all of those customers you get to begin with. So find out where they're at. What do they need? Why do they want to stop Shakeology? You know, maybe they never found a recipe that they liked. So really, you have to get to know people. And for me, this was really hard because I'm kind of an introvert. I really honestly didn't care to get to know people. I kind of kept to myself, and I love helping people. I'm a teacher, but I didn't really go out of my way to help other adults with things. And so that's where personal development came in. And I've been able to really discover things about myself, and it's been really awesome to be able to help people. So I think, you know, with just the whole process, you get to know what you are capable of doing, and then really have those goals, have a plan, and don't give up on yourself. Because if you are posting one day and then you're not, people aren't going to be able to trust you. If you're sending messages that are just like, hey, I'm starting a challenge group, but you've never even spoke to them before, that's really awkward for them, for you. I just think of how you would feel if you were getting those messages. So I guess just think of what you're saying and make your post something that grab people's attention. Like, posting every day is awesome, but make sure that it doesn't just become like white noise. Like, it's the same kind of picture every single day, because you might say something fantastic and totally different from anything you've ever said. But if your picture looks the same as it has the last 5 days, no one's going to stop and read what you have to say. Taking advantage of live videos, making videos. I'm not like the video editing expert like some of the other coaches on the team, but you can make it work. There's things you can do. I like to do live videos because I feel like then you don't have to worry about video editing being it's okay for your video to kind of suck because it's live. So that's why I like live videos. But anyway, I think I was kind of all over the place just now with my tips, but that's kind of how my brain works. So hopefully you were able to pick up something in that was helpful to you. But I think my big thing is be consistent and don't make excuses. If this is what you want, then make it happen. I have 3 kids, 2 jobs. My husband travels 3 to 4 days a week. And there's one of my kids. He likes to flex for the camera. I'm sorry. But I'm making it work. So you just have to decide that you want it and go for it.
Awesome. That's it. Thank you, guys. All right, I took like pages of notes. You all made a lot of really, really, really good points and a lot of really great takeaways. I'm just going to kind of highlight a few things before we get off here. With Kirsten, one of the big things that I often think is really important is no Facebook scrolling and setting business hours. So for so many coaches that have issues with time management, you all just sat and listened to coaches that are all very busy. Most of them have kids, have a job, and, have a life. And I think that's the biggest thing that I often hear is time management issues. So business hours are huge. Kirsten also mentioning setting goals, and then once she hits her goal, she readjusts and she sets a new goal. It's not like she hit her goal and then she's like, oh, okay, I'm going to take it easy now. She wants to keep pushing forward because, of course, that's what advances your business. That Success Club 5 is kind of like your minimum goal of helping 3 people a month. You always want to strive for more. And then on Kristen, she made a lot of really good points. I love that she brought up personal development because this is something I fought a lot at first. Not really fought, but I didn't feel like I had time for it. And Denelle kind of hit on that too, is just trying to find time for it. And I totally understand that. Because that was me when I first started. And I was like Denelle, I had started my own challenge group. When I decided to do my own group, I had jumped in with my coach and had a few challengers in hers, but then I was like ready to go with my group the next month, and I kept doing my own groups. And so I would say, I don't really have time to pick up a book. Audio became my best friend. The National Wake Up Call I became addicted to. I started listening to the ones that were on a year back from when I even joined to be a coach because they were so helpful and very motivating, and they gave me tips towards the business. So personal development is huge because it can be a tough business, and right now can be that word that all the coaches like to use, a discouraging time because it's holidays and not everybody's thinking about fitness. And you guys know I've talked about how important consistency is, and you guys just heard it from all 4 coaches how important consistency is too. So personal development during this time, just to kind of keep you going, keep you motivated, is a must. Even if you find you don't have time for it, there's so many audio things out there that you can sit and listen to in your car ride. You can sit and listen to when you work out. That's what I do. I don't really read a book unless we're on vacation. Okay, and then I also liked Kristen talked about posting more about clean eating and portions, not just your shakes. I think a lot of times, sometimes when a coach first joins, they want to really lead with Shakeology. They want to lead with the product, and you really want to lead with you and what you have to offer. And even Denelle touched on, you're teaching people, you're wanting to educate them about what portions are and what it looks like, not just create a post, maybe do a live video, maybe do a video, maybe if you're in an event page, we always talk about doing event pages and inviting people to free groups and jumping into that event page and showing them what the containers really look like. So, leading with educating people and not with the products, showing them that you have value as a coach is huge. I did something really simple the other day as showing people how I made my salad, and people ate it up. I mean, it was just a great live video that I got people personally messaging me saying, thank you, I tried your salad today. I did that dressing that you said to make. It was really good. And that's building trust and building connections with which, kind of every coach talked about that too. And then with Denelle's points, she said, making this work, even though being busy. So like I said, all these coaches are definitely all busy. We're all making it work. We're all learning how to use time management. And, doing your own challenge groups, I think, is huge too. I always try to push my personally sponsored coaches into doing their own challenge groups, even if it is just 4 people. Like Denelle said, it grows, as you grow trust with people and you put yourself in that leadership position, because that's my goal for you guys. Like, I am the leader of this team, but you are the leader of your team. And so it is going to be your goal to do your own groups and develop your own team. Because if I was still doing all my groups with Brooke, I would have never developed this leadership position that I'm in right now. So it's important to be doing your own groups and, really developing your own team. You guys are a part of this team. We are all a big family. But you want to develop yourself and grow your own tribe. And so that's kind of what Danielle had mentioned is, just going and doing your own challenge groups. And that also builds trust, but it also builds up your own leadership too. Okay. And then with Kelly, I love that she mentioned she had every excuse. And so that makes it really easy for her to go and talk to people whenever they have excuses too. And so I think all of us could probably find an excuse that maybe you've given me or your sponsoring coach of why you weren't going to be able to start this or this wasn't going to work for you. And I think it's always important to relate to people with your own personal experience. If they say, well, my family is picky eaters and I'll have to make different meals, and then you have maybe the same situation where you have a kid that's picky too, so you can relate that back to your family and how you made it work for you. And, just connecting with people and, telling them you understand how they feel, you understand their excuse, but you can do this to make it work. So relating to them in that way. And then I love how Kelly said, my job is not to let them give up on themselves. So often we, some coaches will feel like they're selling. And ultimately, yes, we are selling something. That is true. But at the end of the day, our goal is to help people and to help them not give up on themselves and to give themselves a chance, because we offer a really great solution that isn't a it works wrap or a diet pill. It's real. It's something that can actually make you very healthy, your family healthy, and educate you. So be proud of what you're doing and that you are not producing a sell with these people, but you're actually helping them. You're educating them and you're teaching them, don't give up on yourself. So be proud of that. And then, sorry, I didn't understand my notes here. Last thing, Kelly also talked about the comparison of, what type of coach do you want to be? Do you want to be a consistent coach? Do you want to be a coach that is, that is inviting, that's posting, that is friending new people, that is growing your business each day? And she compared that to, not following your containers. Say, treat it like you treat your fitness. We're obviously all doing our fitness programs and trying to be a product for the product. And what happens when you aren't eating clean or you're not working out? You don't get the results that you want. It's the same thing with coaching. If you're not inviting, you're not friending people, you're not posting, and then you question, why am I not getting these same results and the same success as some of these other coaches that just spoke on this call? That would be the reason, because you aren't doing those things to move your business forward. And it's the same thing. If you're not clean eating, you're not working out, you're not having your shake, and you're not getting your ultimate goal and your fitness results, it's because you're not doing those things. So I love that comparison because that hits home with all of us, I think. All right, that was my main points of the notes. And do you guys have any questions for them?
Do you guys mind if I add you on Facebook so that I can get more posting ideas?
Absolutely. Go for it.
I was muted. Yeah, that's fine.
And also one thing to add, I think it's good for the team definitely to friend each other, but something that I do, like if I follow coaches outside of our team, I will just click, instead of add friend, I'll follow them. Like I'm following them, because some of like the top coaches, you have a max of 5,000 friends that you can have. So if there's another coach that you want to follow, then you can also, that's on another team, you can click follow instead of doing just friending them. But I always think it's a good idea, like within our team, to create that community and to be friending each other. So I know that I try to friend everybody that that joins the team too. But just kind of FYI, if you ever want to follow anybody else that's not on the team too, you can always just, instead of add friend, you can always do follow them. Do y'all have any other questions for them?
I just wanted to say thank you because I had a 12-hour workday, 1 hour drive to and from work, just recovering from sickness. And I was going to poo-poo my workout and just do a double tomorrow. But like everybody just was, it's thank you. Because now I'm not going to fluff off my, workout, and my room is a complete and total disaster. I mean, like everything is out of whack, and I'm OCD, so it's really hard for me to not clean before I work out, but kind of reprioritizing and just making, quelling the OCD and get the workout in. It's 30 minutes. So thank you guys.
You can do it, Bridget. I'm feeling better.
Thank you.
I know it's the pits when you don't feel well, so the workout might be just what you need to end your night with, right?
Exactly. Sweat out the bed.
That's right. That's right. All right, guys. Well, if nobody else has any questions, we will jump off of here, and I hope you all have a really happy Thanksgiving.
Thanks, you too.
You too.
Thanks. All right,
Thank
guys.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.